All right, so in part one of the video, we were leaving off right here where we were finding the sine of y, knowing the cosine of y, and I did it using the right triangle and the Pythagorean theorem. And then I was showing you how you could also use just the Pythagorean identity and keep your fractions as they were. Okay, by doing it that way, you get sine y equals -3/5. Remember that we would have taken the square root of this, and we're told whether it's positive or negative because of where the triangle is. And it says that y is in the fourth quadrant. And in the fourth quadrant, sine values are negative. So this is a -3/5. If cosine x equals 5/13 and cosine y equals 4/5, where x is a first quadrant angle and y is in the fourth quadrant, we're going to evaluate cosine of x minus y. Cosine x minus y. Now, this is what our sine was from our previous problems. Sine x was 12/13 and sine y was -3/5. And we need to know those values because of our sum and difference identity. The cosine of x minus y is cosine of the first times cosine of the second plus sine of the first times sine of the second. So we're going to plug in our values that we already have either been told or figured out. Cosine x was 5/13 and cosine y is 4/5. And then we're going to add the sine x, 12/13, times sine y, -3/5. When we multiply those, remember fractions, we just multiply across the top and the bottom. So these can actually cancel out and we get 4/13. And then 12 times -3 is 36. And 5 times 13 is 65. And we're going to add those together. Right, that gives us 20/65 minus 36/65. If I hadn't canceled this to begin with, I would have had a common denominator there. So now that we have a common denominator, we can simplify that, and that gives us -16/65. So that is the cosine. That's the difference between those two angles. Just a couple of reminders. You can see all of these identities. Sorry, right in the middle of a sneeze. You can see all of these identities on page 255. These are our odd and even identities. And our even identities are the ones where the cosine or the negative angle is the same as the angle where we're talking about trig. So cosine of negative theta is equal to cosine theta. So you can see that cosine and secant are our two even identities, and sine, cosecant, tangent, and cotangent are all odd identities. So remember this from before. Make sure that you have it written down in your identities. It is on page 255 as well. But cosine and secant are the only two even identities. We also have our cofunction identities. Remember, this is relating to right triangles again, and our two acute angles. That is a terrible right triangle. But the sine of one, so if we did the sine of this angle, for example, that's going to be equal to the cosine of the other angle. The sine and cosine of complementary angles are equal. So our cofunction identities are sine and cosine, tangent and cotangent, and secant and cosecant. Those are cofunction identities. And then our period identities refers back to when we did periodic functions in a previous chapter. And so period identities we won't really use a whole lot at this point, but they are listed for you here and on page 255. All right, let's do a proof. Using some of these identities that we've learned, we're going to prove that sine squared x minus cosine x times cosine negative x times sine squared x equals sine to the fourth x for all instances of x. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is simplify this left-hand side. This side is pretty easy. We're going to leave that as it is, but we're going to simplify the left-hand side. We're going to substitute using this fact that cosine of negative x is the same as cosine x. Because it is an even identity, so we can substitute and write cosine x times cosine x, or we can rewrite that as cosine squared x, because cosine x times cosine x is cosine squared x. All right, so we do a quick substitution and simplify there. we now have two terms. We have sine squared x minus cosine squared x times sine squared x. Both of these terms have a sine squared x, so we can factor that sine squared x out. And when we do, we're left with 1 minus cosine squared x in parentheses. Anytime you see that 1 minus or 1 plus, that should make you think of the Pythagorean identity there. And our Pythagorean identity says that 1 minus cosine squared x is sine squared x. So we're going to substitute that using our Pythagorean identity. And now we have sine squared x times sine squared x. When we multiply that back out, we get sine to the fourth x. And so we're left with sine to the fourth x equals sine to the fourth x. So we proved that that those two trigonomic expressions were equal, or were the same. We used the even identity here, odd even identity, and then we use the Pythagorean identity to simplify that and get that to be the same as on the right-hand side. All right, guys, this was a quick part 2, but today we evaluated trig functions using the sum and difference identities, or sine and cosine are 4 identities there that you need to know, and we used it to prove trig identities from the sum and difference identities. So we proved a couple more trigonometric proofs, I struggle with that word, using identities from previous lessons as well as the sum and difference identities. If you guys have any questions, be sure to write those down and ask me next class.